Welcome back, guys. Today me and Tom are going to be demonstrating the foot trap and why you should be using it. Now see right there, what he did was he immediately pulled his foot back, retracted it, because you knew what I was doing.
Yeah, because I can see here, but I saw you extend.
Yeah. So why I extended like that is when you find an opening where you feel comfortable moving in, let's go ahead and get in our final stance, you're going to foot trap them. And so this is a little bit dirty way of fighting, like it's not very respectable in my opinion.
Fuck that.
But if you're fighting, like Tom's reaction just showed, you're fighting for a reason, and most likely if you're like me, you're defending yourself.
You're in a bar fight, real world fight. Nobody's going to play by the rules.
Go ahead, throw something real quick. So right here, now go ahead and retract. I'm going to trap his foot here when I move in, and that way I can throw a close distance, but also I kind of keep him to where he's limited as far as how back he can go with his head, where he can go, and I limit the range for a punch. So go ahead and throw a jab from right here. So this is how far he's got to travel. It's closer, but you can't get that full rotation because I got your foot trap. Now go ahead and take a step back. Now throw a jab. Now he can come in, he can move, he can use his back a little bit more. But if you trap him, you're kind of closing the distance to lower the damage you're going to take from the hit. Because when you close this distance and get into the kill zone, you're more likely going to take a lick.
When your foot's trapped, their main focus is going to be get away from you. So they're going to be focused on that foot. They may look down, drop their guard, and then that sets up an easy hit.
And sometimes, like if you're untrained, or even if you are trained, you're not expecting it. I mean, he was expecting something to go on. I didn't do an intro to this, but he knew that there was going to be some move utilizing this that probably wouldn't be very practical. If I told him, he'd be expecting it. So to execute a foot trap properly, we're just going to take our lead foot, place it on our opponent's foot, put in most of our weight on that lead foot to make sure he can't back out of it. Go forward with his foot. Now he's foot trapped me. This is already coming in. By the time, just don't take your foot off, just reverse back. Now start coming again. By the time his fist is here, my foot's already trapped. If I'm not aware of what's going on or how much pressure he's got here, especially if it waits till the last second, there's not a lot of time to react. And by the time I start trying to back up like I just did, go ahead and come through with it. I can only go so far because I'm trapped. I can't go back further than this or else I'll lose balance, I'll fall. And especially if he lands that strike and I go further back, I'm falling because I have nowhere to go. So let's go ahead, let's just move around a little bit. So here, I rotated to a different stance, but I saw an opening because he just threw with this hand, he pulled it back, so there was an opening here to try to do an overhand. So what I was going to do is going to slip this, overhand. But here, try to back up. That's as far as back as he can get. So if I do barely miss him, I'm still going to make contact because he can't go back any further than this. Now if I didn't have a foot trap, he can just back all the way out of that and avoid the punch in general. So it's a great way to throw your opponent off guard by trapping their foot. It keeps them from evading your punch and keeps them from running away from you. It's almost similar to how if you see someone that's untrained, they'll grab their opponent with one hand and they'll start pummeling with the other. And that's to hold the target still and keep them from escaping their reach. This is the same thing. You're grabbing their feet, foot trapping them to make sure they're not getting out of your reach or your kill zone, and you're able to move in and hopefully land that strike. And if you prefer groundwork, with that you can take them to the ground more easily, do a leg sweep, punch them enough where they'll fall down because they're getting punched and they can't move. Or you can just wind up just standing up and just going blow for blow right here with your foot on top of theirs where they're limited on how far they can move because at any time, go ahead and throw anything. I can always back out, but he can't. So that's one of the benefits. You're kind of putting them at a disadvantage and giving yourself a little bit more workaround for them.
If you foot trap, don't reach out further than what you can do. Try to keep it close. That way you don't put yourself in a vulnerable position.
That's a good point, Tom, because if we're here, go ahead and back up there. Now, if he's this far away from me, go ahead and go for a foot trap. Now, I see him step this far. One, he's off balance. Two, if he misses my foot or I see him instinctually move, go ahead and try that again. If I see him start moving and I move, he's missed. He's put himself in a bad position for any other move coming in, crotch kick, anything, because you're reaching too far. Now, only reason I'd foot trap is when you know you can almost get it 100% guaranteed, because once you try it, if I miss, if I get to the side of him or he moves us out of the way and I miss and he's trained, he knows what I was trying to do.
They're going to expect it.
He's going to expect it. And then he may even try to bait me and go for a foot trap to get me off balance, get me out of my stance.
And you'll be stepping right into a punch.
And then I'll be stepping right into a punch. Be sure you kind of dance around with your opponent a little bit, get to know him, feel him out a little bit, and then utilize this move. I wouldn't come out of the gate with a foot trap. I'd wait probably about middle of the fight. That's when I'd utilize it. Hope this video is informational for you guys. If you guys would like to see any other moves in the martial arts how-to playlist, let us know in the comments down below. Hope you have a good morning, a good night whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one.